Thank you for joining Women Have Needs Too by LindaQ. We're here to inspire and empower women. And today we are speaking with Michelle Trias. She is a digestive wellness expert and naturopath. And I'm so excited to speak with Michelle. She has helped me, and I know she has information that will help all of you. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. And are you having a good day?
Yes, I'm having a great day. Thanks so much for having me.
Yay! I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So, digestive wellness and naturopath. I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes I have problems with digestion. So let's talk about that. What can you do to help people, and how do you do it? And what do you recommend for people?
Well, a lot of what I do is education in terms of what's going on in the digestive system. When we sit down to a meal, it's really important to us. What we eat, food it's really kind of the center of what we do as a culture, as human beings. Any big event, you're eating food. Any sort of major moment, it comes with food. But what I've found in my studies is that not many people understand what happens from the point of mouth to exit and how important that is. And so what I do is I educate people about digestive wellness and about nutrition really, and how to improve their digestion. So many Americans are bloated and they just think that this is the way it's supposed to be. But it's not normal to be bloated. It's not normal to be constipated. It's not normal to have these fatigue after a meal. These things are not a normal condition. This is not the way the body's meant. So a lot of what I do is sort of educating people on how to improve their digestion. And a lot of that, a big piece of that, there's some supplementation that helps, but really it's about nutrition.
So when somebody is bloated, that means that they didn't do something right, or something is not working, gelling right with their body. Is that what you're saying?
Well, when you're bloated, when you have bloating, it's a histamine response from the body. So it's your body having inflammation, and it's your body's way of saying, I don't like what's in here. In fact, I'm going to attack it. I'm going to send some proteins and different things to that area because I think that this is a foreign invader and we better get it out of here. And so you'll have inflammation because your body is thinking something's wrong here. And you'll get a lot of bloating with fried, frozen, fast, and processed foods. These are the big four that I try to help people to get away from. But it's really your body's way of saying, I don't like what you ate. So write it down and don't eat that, because your body is not absorbing any nutrients from it, and it's actually taking away from your health to consume whatever that was that bloated you.
So we just need to be in tune to our body and take note of what we just had and what may be causing it, and if it happens again with something else. And so we kind of dwindle it down to the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
And you said something about anyway, you said something I was thinking and I wasn't supposed to be thinking. I was just supposed to be listening.
That's okay.
I'm so bad at that. So medicine, I've heard, is food is the best medicine for your body. Is that something that you agree with?
Yes. 100%. Food is the best medicine for your body, and you can heal your body with food. Sometimes when conditions are chronic or you want to expedite the healing in a certain area, I will recommend a certain supplement or different vitamins. But food is really the best medicine. But I will say kind of a caveat to that is that our soil is very nutrient depleted. And so even if you eat an abundance of fruits and vegetables and you're very good about staying away from this and that, there's still some vitamins that you're not getting. Like vitamin C. You're just not getting enough of it. And sometimes vitamin D is another one, or B vitamins. B vitamins are really important because that's kind of an energy, those are your energy vitamins. And so a lot of people are fatigued, and kind of when we drill down to it, when we look at labs from their blood work, we can see that their B vitamins aren't working, their B vitamin levels aren't where they should be. So yes, food can heal, and food is a very healing thing. And I think, food gets you about 75% of the way there, and consciously consuming your food is important too. And then, sometimes a little bit of supplementation as well to help you get the rest of the 100% there.
Some wise woman taught me that we should chew our food at least 30 times. Is that true? Like,
Yes.
You take a bite of food and you chew it 30 times?
Yes, chewing it 30 times. Digestion starts in the mouth, not in the stomach. So as soon as you put food in your mouth, even before you put food in your mouth, actually, when you start smelling food that's being cooked, your salivary glands start to produce digestive enzymes in the mouth that will help break down your food. So the fastest and easiest thing to help with digestion is to chew your food at least 30 times. So chew your food slowly. The other thing that I think is really helpful is to be really conscious about how you're consuming food. So a lot of times, and I'm very guilty of this, I will be eating and working. That's not consciously eating your food. And so I'm not conscious about what's happening. I'm sort of just like dumping food in there, or eating over the kitchen table, or eating over the kitchen counter.
I do that. Guilty. I'm guilty.
I'm guilty too.
In the essence of time. And I think we live, well, we're probably not living in as such a busy world as we used to live in. But, on a regular basis, I mean, a lot of us are just busy. We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got spouses, we have life. And so food is a time we're actually supposed, I think the Spaniards and the Italians have it, down, where it's a long feast, or not necessarily a feast, but it's a long meal. And it's because they are appreciating the food. They're chewing their food. They're, of course, drinking their wine. I like that part. But they give their body that time to process and enjoy the food and let it do its work. Is that true?
Yes. That's absolutely correct. They have really mastered it. You hit the nail on the head about how food is supposed to be this relaxing, enjoyable thing. Yeah. And when you're standing up and when you're eating on the go and you're eating like that and you're not chewing your food, number one, you're not digesting it properly. So that can lead to indigestion, acid reflux, and a number of other digestive issues that you may be facing. So you can just nip that in the bud. But number two, when you're in that state, and that state that you're in when you're trying to multitask, feeding yourself and doing 12 other things, your body is not in a relaxive state. And so all of your body is saying, this is not a relaxing thing. It's a very tense moment. And so that interrupts and disrupts the digestive process as well. When you're digesting food, it kind of, once it's past the stomach and into the small intestine, your body does something called peristalsis. And basically that's, it's moving the food along the tube. But when you're stressed out, that process isn't smooth, or even worse, that process happens very fast, and then you have diarrhea. And this has happened to me before, and I'll say it on video, but when you have something, when you're really, really nervous, really nervous, what happens?
Yeah.
Everything down there starts to get churned up.
Why does that happen?
Because you're squeezing, you're basically you're giving signals to the body that this is a stressful time. So you better hurry up with digestion. You better hurry that digestion up, because we're in fight or flight mode. We're not in relax and eat mode. So your body's like, let's get this food out of here. Let's hurry up. She doesn't have time to digest. And out it comes. And you didn't really get the benefit of absorbing any nutrients. Your body is in a state of anxiety in the moment that you're eating. A really great tip I have for people is to try to be around when food is being cooked. So even if you're not the person cooking, be around when it's cooked, so that you can smell the food and so that your salivary glands will start to produce digestive enzymes. And then once you sit down to your meal, really be conscious about how you're eating it and slowly chew it. And try to take 3 deep breaths before you start eating. 3 deep breaths any time of the day is great for your mind and body, but 3 deep breaths before you eat really tells your body like, okay, I may have been stressed before, but I want you to calm down now and get ready because we're going to consume food and we need to do it in a really relaxed way.
I need to be reminded to breathe like all throughout the day. I forget to breathe. And
No.
I'd like to get back to the stress point. So the key is to never be stressed, and your digestive system will be like a step ahead of normal patterns.
Well, I mean, it's hard not to be stressed because this is fast paced, but
Yeah.
try to, when you're going to eat your food, try to make that a very peaceful, a very relaxing,
Gotcha.
a very stress-free time.
Okay.
You can pick it back up again, which is not really great. You know, I could go on a whole other talk about stress, but
Well,
how
we will
it's
do that.
and how it's a big killer. But when you're sitting down to a meal, know that you're refueling your body, and you can't be thinking on your feet and coming up with amazing ideas and being the best version of you unless you fill the tank. And
Okay.
if you fill the tank with and you're eating quickly and you're not being conscious about A, what you're eating, and B, how you're eating it, then you're really shortchanging yourself on nutrition and the digestive process.
True. So let's get back to stress, because I think, you know, a lot of people have realized a lot more stress, sadly, because of the situation of COVID. And I hate to, you know, keep bringing COVID up, but I mean, it's out there. We're all living with it every day. So how can we, you know, through the foods that we choose, because sometimes if I eat something that I know I shouldn't be eating, I stress out about that. And I know, and it's horrible, but I will enjoy my dessert every now and then and just not even forget about it. So, like steak. Steak is really hard for me to digest, and that's one of my favorite foods. And I realize that when I eat steak or any kind of beef a lot, my heart rate goes up. I have a hot flash, and I think I'm supposed to be over those things, but you know, women are never over them. But talk to me a little bit about that.
So, you know, I tell my
Is
patients,
it different for everybody? Am I the only person that happens to?
No, this is a very, very easy thing to do in theory.
Okay.
What I explain to people is very simple. Eat more fruits and vegetables, eat less frozen processed fast foods. It's very simple. However, that's in theory. In actuality, it's a really hard thing to accomplish because you have to spend a lot of time thinking, planning for your meals, because you can't just be out and about and be like, okay, well, I'm stuck here in this, I have this meeting. You really have to think ahead of like, what kind of snacks can I have in my bag? What kind of things can I do at home that kind of can overcompensate a little bit for maybe what I've done in the middle of the day? Right. So for example, I like to juice first thing in the morning. I'll have a nice green juice first thing in the morning. And in that juice is so much vegetables. All of my vegetables I could possibly eat for the day are in that juice. Now, I will continue to have more vegetables throughout the day, but I know that nutritionally I've covered myself by 7 a.m. when I have that first juice. So if my day starts to kind of tank and I can't have my smoothie in the late afternoon, and I had to make a choice where I was out and about and I'm not making the best choice for myself for lunch, then I know that I got what I needed first thing in the day. So set yourself up first thing in the day. Try to make a really good choice first thing in the morning. Get a lot of nutrients, and then keep a lot of snacks, nuts and seeds. These are great snacks to have that are not salted. So raw walnuts, raw pecans. Sometimes when I'm hungry and I'm sitting at my desk, I have a jar of cashews and I'll just start eating them like they're potato chips.
But can't you eat too many of those too?
So you usually want to have like a cup, maybe a cup or two of them a day, and you're fine with that. As long as you're eating raw, not salted, and it hasn't been processed in any way, you're okay to have nuts like that. So it's really about planning. And then it's also about an 80-20 sort of rule here I have.
Okay.
Try to be good 80% of the time. And then that 20% of the time that you couldn't be good, really, really enjoy that food that you know is probably not going to be the best for you. It's so much worse if you give yourself a hard time about it. Mentally, you didn't even enjoy it. You didn't even let yourself enjoy that indulgence that you gave yourself. And that's very hard on your spirit too. So try to follow an 80-20. And that's kind of like, okay, 80% of the day, I really was following what I should be eating. And then 20% of the day I fell off because I had, this one thing or that one thing. I'm more about like staying away from fast, frozen, processed junk. If you can stay away from those, then you've got you're 70% there. So just eat real food that grows towards the sun should be what you consume a majority of the time. I'm not an advocate for being a vegan or a vegetarian. I believe that there's you should have proteins on your plate. You should have some carbohydrates on your plate. Your brain needs fat. So whoever told you to be fat free.
Well, my brain has plenty of fat, and so do my sides.
It's not good fat. You're talking good fat. Your brain needs good fat. And you get that from some kinds of animal proteins, eggs, butters, things like that. So, there's studies out there saying that like all this fat-free stuff can lead to problems down the road. Right. Just eat real food. So if it comes from a drive-through window, if it comes in a bag or a box, it has been processed in some way.
Just say no.
Just say no. Just say no and try to choose something that's more alive.
Yes.
And then when you're looking at your plate and you're eating, try to eat more, like when you look at it and you have your plate in front of you, more fruits and vegetables, salad, or maybe some spaghetti squash, or some zucchini spaghetti spirals. And then you have your protein, whatever it may be, fish or chicken or beef. And then, maybe some other kind of starch.
And the protein is just supposed to be a small amount of what you're eating on the whole plate.
Smaller. It should be smaller than the main meal should be
your
green
vegetables
or alive. And the rest of it can be what I call like flesh meats, things that have been cooked and they're not alive anymore.
Okay. So I want to get back to the fried thing because I love fried food. There's got to be a healthy way to do it. You can have fried food, and isn't it about the oil? About the oil and the flour.
It's, in general, our body has a hard time breaking down fried foods, even regardless of the oil.
But it's so good.
I know. That's because it's kind of like, it's got fried food and sugar. They give you a dopamine, so they tell you just like a drug, and the drug says, oh, this feels so good. When you eat bread, white bread, when you eat fried foods, when you eat sugar, your body gets your pleasure response is like bing, 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 bing. This is pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. But it's fake. It's not really real. What you're getting is a fake rise in your dopamine and your serotonin levels. That's not true. It's just the way that the body is reacting to what you're taking. In actuality, it's not doing anything for you. There's no nutrients that you get from eating something fried. In fact, it takes your body so much energy to break it down and extract from it any kind of nutrient that it can get, that you end up in the negative in terms of nutrition. So at the end of the process, instead of being like, okay, well, at least I got this and this out of it, No, it took your body so much effort and energy to break it down that you used a lot of bile from your liver and your gallbladder. You lose a lot from your pancreas, and so your body's exhausted. You're always tired after eating
Yes,
fried
yes, yes.
because your body is exhausted from what it had to just
The
do.
digestion, which is one thing I wanted to bring up about your juicing first thing in the morning. Do you have tons of energy after juicing in the morning? Is that just like give you tons of energy?
Yes, it gives me lots of energy
And
and it lasts me throughout the day.
And it's because your body doesn't have to work so hard to digest it. Is that right?
Yes, because when you juice versus a smoothie, which I love smoothies too, but when you juice, you are with a masticating juicer, you're extrapolating just the liquid. So when you eat food in the stomach, your body is trying to get the food into a very like mushy, liquidy form so that it can go through the process of digestion through the small intestine and then have nutrients absorbed. And so nutrients are absorbed when it's very when it's passing through the small intestine and through a process of diffusion, it's able to grab the nutrients from the food because it's all kind of broken down into what we call chyme. So when you juice, basically you've circumnavigated the whole digestive system. So instead of having to go into the stomach and be there for an hour and your liver and your pancreas and your gallbladder are all sending digestive enzymes, none of that has to happen when you juice. You've already put it in a fully digested form into your body. So within 15, 20 minutes, you're absorbing all those nutrients right into your bloodstream. Whereas it takes a lot longer with something that you have to chew and break down, and then your stomach has to further chew and break it down for it to fully digest and for you to extrapolate the nutrients from that food. But so juicing is absolutely, I think it's great. I mean, I don't think it's the only thing to do, but I think it's a great way to give your body an injection of nutrients right into the bloodstream.
Yeah. I think we could have a whole show on juicing and a whole show on sugar.
Oh my gosh, sugar.
Right. And so what I'm hearing, number one, is that chocolate doesn't have any nutrients in it.
Chocolate, so it's
I like
it's
dark
not,
chocolate. Is that okay?
dark chocolate is better than sort of like a milk chocolate
Right,
for you. It's
that's
got
more
a lot
sugar.
of good things in chocolate, but like with a lot of things, you want to do chocolate in moderation. So so I don't want to say, hey, chocolate is great, dark chocolate, make sure you get it from a good source that hasn't been processed with additives. Look on the back of your chocolate, look at the ingredients list, and if it says more than chocolate and a few other ingredients, then that chocolate is gonna not be great for you. But but some people have a hard time with chocolate. So if you eat a piece of chocolate and you're bloating, it's not good for you. It's not good for your digestive system. Or if you have acid reflux or if you have any kind of stomach pain, I think the key takeaway here is listen to your body, what your body's telling you. It may not be forever. Sometimes I work with patients that are having all of these allergies or food sensitivities. And then we clear up the digestion, we remove those foods, and then 6 months down the line, they're able to reintroduce some of these foods that may have been, harmful to them. And we're not talking like processed or frozen or fast or any of those kind of foods, but some people may have a sensitivity to eggs or dairy or different things. So once you heal the digestive system, you can integrate those foods here and there. You can't go out and be like, I can eat eggs again and now I'm going to eat them every single day for the rest of my life. Then you'll go back to having a food sensitivity again. So
exactly,
in moderation.
That was one of mine.
Listen to your body.
Yeah, I suffer from autoimmune disease, and so I have learned how to eat, and I am guilty of not eating properly all the time, but I am getting ready to get back on that train because I notice a huge difference in my body. Number one, I lose weight right away because it's just getting rid of that water weight, and I learned that the water weight is what's trying to fight that food that I have put in my body that my body doesn't like. And so I've learned what those things are, but I can't necessarily always stay away from them because I'm not 80-20. I may be more like 60-40. But I wanted to say that there's so much gratification in chewing. And so if I juiced all the time, I would feel like I was missing something. And I don't know, I don't think that's something that you're saying that you should just juice all the time. Am I right?
No.
Yeah.
No, like I do 4 times a year, I do a 14-day cleanse. And a part of the cleanse is you spend 3 days just juicing. And I cannot tell you, by day 2, all I want to do is just chew. I'll chew ice because I miss chewing so bad.
Yes.
When I'm doing that. So no, I'm not saying. I mean, you need to be eating. You need your diet to be a variety: juices, smoothies, salads. You know, your flesh meats, your chicken, your fish. You get a lot of health benefits from fish.
Yeah.
Especially if you eat the fish that's lower in mercury. So it's about kind of diversifying your diet too. I mean, a lot of people eat the same exact thing like every single week. They're just eating the same thing, and I'm trying to help them to.
I'm guilty of that. I try to mix it up, but I do. It's easy because I don't have to think about it, and you just do it. We have to wrap it up, Michelle. But we are going to do another show on. I would like us to do another show on autoimmune and sugar.
Yes.
And juicing. So we're going to see a lot of Dr. Michelle.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it would be fun to do a cooking show together.
We should do a cooking show. That would be great.
That would be so much fun. That would be so much fun. All right, so digestive, let's just give a recap of digestive real quick. What are the key points of people helping get their digestive tract on track?
So I'll go through them. So 80-20,
Okay.
Eat more, and get away from frozen, fast, processed foods.
Bad stuff. Don't do it.
And consciously consume your food and plan ahead. And under that is like chew your food, take deep breaths while you're eating, and sort of make time for consuming your food and giving fuel to your body. It's what's making your eyes and your lungs and all these body parts are working because you're fueling it. And so take time to think about that. Although we're busy, it will work. Your body will work better. Your brain will work faster. You'll feel better. You won't be, there's a lot of
brain fog.
You won't have brain fog.
Right.
You'll reduce your depression. You'll reduce your anxiety if you start to make good choices. So putting those, eating consciously is important.
And it starts with shopping and planning.
It starts with shopping and planning, and it's a part of self-care. This is self-care for you and for your family. So
it's so important.
If you put yourself first and make those lists and pre-plan ahead, you will have a better time of it. And when you mess up, and we all do, then don't beat yourself up. Just, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna have a nice juice, and I'm gonna do better tomorrow, and I won't eat that.
We're going to do better starting right now.
Now, yeah.
I thank you so much. And again, women have needs too. Right now, I need to take better care of myself. So let's all do it. Visit Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle, where can people visit you?
You can visit my website at MyNaturoWellness.com. And I do remote consultations.
Beautiful.
Telehealth. So I'm happy to see
telehealth, telenutrition. Let's do it.
Telenutrition.
Dr. Michelle.
Or you can come to my office down in South Florida and visit me there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You're always have wonderful information, and I appreciate you so much.
You got it. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Have a great day, everybody.